Hey, welcome to Bill's Barbecue, presented by State Farm. That's Ryen Russillo.
You have a teleprompter?
I'm Bill Simmons. I can't see it. It's just darkness. We just watched Packers-Chiefs, which was the quarterback duel between Aaron Rodgers and Matt Moore we all expected. Remember, just like football, life can be unpredictable. That's why State Farm agents are there to help with over 19,000 agents. A local State Farm agent could be just around the block, whether you talk in person, by phone, or through the app. State Farm is there. Go with the one with coverage and agents you can count on, like the Packers can count on Aaron Rodgers. How was that for a transition?
Pretty good. You're
Thank
good
you.
at these.
You love Aaron Rodgers. I actually had never watched an Aaron Rodgers game with you. I didn't realize you were one of those guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You really are.
Well, it's...
You're like, you're like a chortler / pseudo-orgasmer guy with Rodgers.
Okay, but how... I'm not... Maybe it's the last time we watched them together. I'm usually by myself. I don't want to sound like, like people can be way too weird and spiritual about the quarterback craft sometimes. You'd be like,
yeah,
this, and it gets like cosmic, and you're like, shut up. But there are moments throughout every Aaron Rodgers game where you go, I give up. Like, this is stupid. And the throw that he had, where everybody thinks he's throwing out of the back of the end zone, flush to his right, third down, he's getting rid of it, they're taking the 3, and it's a completion to a back in the back corner of the end zone, and everybody just freaks out collectively. So, yeah, I am one of those guys because he's that special.
It was a Rocky Balboa in Rocky 1 season game ender for Matt Moore, where he lost, but he didn't lose.
I haven't, spoiler alert.
Adrian came in the ring and hugged him.
Is that what happens?
Adrian! The Packers are celebrating.
That whole time I thought he won, because the girl ran in.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt like he won. He is now 15 and 16 lifetime. We did the State Farm safe bet, and I jokingly mentioned that my safe bet was Matt Moore. It was like sneaky mediocre in a positive way. And he was better than mediocre in this game. He was actually pretty good. It made me wonder if you put any kind of semi-competent quarterback in this Chiefs offense, would they look like Matt Moore? Or is he better than semi-competent? Is he actually like almost competent?
The book on Andy Reid is that he is, it's always funny, like when I'll hear like a football thing and you go, is that really brilliant? Or is that actually just pretty much common sense?
Yeah.
Like Andy Reid's brilliant with backups, so why is he brilliant? Well, he calls plays that they're good at.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, but it's just true. It's just true that offensive-minded guys sometimes are like, well, this is our system. This is what we're running. Like when Peyton Manning was going on his tour to who he wanted to go play for, like he played catch with Harbaugh. Harbaugh infamously said, looks like you've lost a little zip on those throws to Peyton.
Is that true?
This is a true story. And Peyton was like, hey, if I come here, what system are we running? And Harbaugh's like, we're running my system. When he went to Denver, Elway's like, we'll run whatever you want to run. And
so Harbaugh had a dick swinging contest with him?
Yeah, a little bit. That's the legend. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I've read all these amazing stories all those years. And just access.
Harbaugh said you've lost a little zip on
He was like giving him a hard time a little bit, like, you're not throwing him as hard.
I got to say, Matt Moore made 9 really nice throws in this game.
He was great. And think about it. They're down 14-0. The injuries that we'll get to at some point. But, like, don't you feel like you're like, he's actually in this? Like, we're right into the last possession. So.
Yeah. And that Rodgers play was the killer. So, looking at the big picture, best NFC team. From what you saw tonight, what you've seen these first 8 games, would you go Packers, Saints, or other?
It's definitely not other, even though Niners fans are probably upset about that.
They did look good today.
They're ridiculous.
I thought the Carolina was going to cover and possibly win today.
What was the line?
And they got smoked. It went from 5.5 to 4 at game time. It moved 1.5 toward Carolina. In the Niners, it was over immediately. It was 14-3 in 5 seconds.
Right, and we're still sitting here being like, I'm not sure. I don't know if we're going to have the Garoppolo answer. Or maybe we already have it. But it doesn't matter because the defense is that good. But I would still go Saints over Green Bay.
Yeah? What's the reason?
I like the defense a little bit better, even though they're close. I think the pass rush for not only Cam, who's awesome for them, but that Davenport kid has come on. And they haven't even had Kamara the last couple of weeks. They get back Breeze. I know that's saying a lot. Breeze, Rodgers, I think they're in the same neighborhood, even though Rodgers, I still put him ahead of him. Like, what do you think? Do you think?
I think they've had a lot of kind of tough games. Today was Arizona, a little bit easier, but I like that they feel battle tested already. I think that's the biggest question when you think about the Patriots and even the Niners, where they just haven't had the wars yet. The Packers have had a couple too, but I like that the Saints have been in like really hard games to win.
Yeah, the Texans game at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
the Cowboys game where they went to totally just shut them down in a different style of game.
And even that Rams game, they probably should have won, and they got, hosed on a call as usual, but they were in that game as well. Would you trade Bridgewater before Tuesday? Because I heard people talking about that on the various Sunday pregame shows today when people were fake laughing at each other's jokes.
That
was
really
a topic.
That really did happen. It's like how every show wants to be the TNT show, and it's like, yeah, but when you force the laughter,
It's been a century-long thing now.
like when you tried the Grantland basketball show and you experimented with a laugh track, I was like,
It did. I went with like a 70s laugh track
Yeah.
where it was the same two guys laughing
yeah.
over and over again. It didn't really work.
All right. It's pretty fair to say that Peyton in this offense, like Teddy Bridgewater's not going to be Drew Brees. And in the beginning, it didn't look that great. And the defense is strong enough to carry him. And if they're going to be home for a playoff game, like I think you're close enough to take a shot at it that it's not worth getting, a third rounder? Like you think you're getting a first rounder for Teddy Bridgewater? I don't think you are.
I would probably keep him just because Breeze is old. But it's just funny that there's, 14 good quarterbacks, and they have two of the ones that were playing really well this year. I was not a Bridgewater guy. I was really impressed by him, especially the last couple weeks. I thought he was really good. He was making good throws.
Yeah, Bridgewater's like an example of, I think when we look at quarterbacks, we can overrate a guy if he stabilizes an organization that hasn't had any kind of answer for a bunch of years.
Yeah.
So when he got to Minnesota and was good enough and they won some games, it kind of hid the fact from us, like, how good is this guy really going to be? And then, of course, everybody feels terrible because of the injury, the whole deal. But normally I'd always want to get the asset, especially with Breeze back. But I think they're in this situation, if New Orleans is playing at home, where I think NFL players will tell you it's harder to beat the Saints at their place in the playoffs than it is even to go to Green Bay and beat the Packers now, even though it's outside, inside. Like I'm telling you, that place is rowdy. It's like a college atmosphere.
Well, it's going to be fun, this home field advantage thing. New Orleans is 7-1, Green Bay 6-2, Minnesota 6-2.
Yeah, doesn't that sneak up on you?
How did that happen? San Francisco 7-0.
Cousins, after what was it? He had like that terrible game 4 or 5 weeks ago, and then I know the Redskins game wasn't huge, but the previous 3 weeks he put up numbers.
His receivers had a QB d'etat on him.
Yeah, he apologized to one of them.
Like Thielen got mad. I haven't heard that guy say 2 words his entire career.
And then
He
Zimmer
was
got
mad about it.
Zimmer got mad at Cousins for apologizing.
Right.
Cousins is like, hey man,
Because I'm just trying to.
just the middle kid.
I just got here a year and a half ago. Colts or Texans? Who do you have? And AFC South. Colts have a 1-game lead right now. They have already beaten the Texans. J.J. Watt out for the year, it looks like. And yet, from what we've seen from the Colts, I don't know how many games in a row they can just pull a win out of their ass, which they've done 3 or 4 times. It's incredible.
They were so good in that Texas game. Brissett threw for like
He
380.
was great. That was a deserved win.
Right. Like that was them holding the Texans off. Where today, and as dumb as this is, head to head, we saw it 8 days ago. I still like Deshaun Watson better than I like Brissett. So
I like the Colts team more. I like their coach more, even though Frank Reich wasn't great today. I didn't like when the 4th and 1 he kicks a field goal to start the game. I hate that. You're on the 28. You're home.
yeah, and he's usually
Send a
not
message.
that guy.
Yeah, send a message.
He's usually a big message.
Hit the
sender.
yard. Yeah, he usually is.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't awake yet. Would have been like when my coffee doesn't kick in yet.
End of the month, out of data.
I am pro Colts in that division. There's just something, obviously it's been a Ewing theory kind of year, but there is something about that galvanized them with Luck going out. The one thing I noticed today, though, their offensive line, I really thought had a lot of trouble against the Broncos. And, no Bradley Chubb. I don't know why that Broncos D-line is so incredible. But they were, I thought, dominating most of that game. They got a little tired at the end. First loss of the season, would you go Pats or Niners? Do your thing with the schedules.
Yep. All right. So pulling it up because New England's going to lose to somebody you don't expect them to. Okay, that's what I would see here. So they got the Ravens coming up next. I think Belichick is going to be so excited to do a contain, make Lamar beat his deep throw thing, or maybe he's going to take those away and just give him all the underneath stuff. Because you've seen some stuff since those first 2 weeks with Lamar Jackson, the passer, where it has people just get so mad about this debate all the time with him. And it's like, no, he's doing this unprecedented thing with his legs. Like, I ran the numbers. If he keeps up this rushing, if he keeps up these totals, he's going to run for over 1,300 yards. The record's 1,000 plus with Vic in 06.
I like when you say you ran the numbers like you went to your compound. You put them into your
I ran the numbers. I divided his yardage total by 16 and then just figured out what it'd be for the rest of the games.
I talked to my staff. We ran the numbers.
It took me about 20 seconds, but I feel confident about my formula.
Turns out 80 yards a game times 16 is around 1,300.
So he has to run he's going to, like, you're all right, is he going to run? Like, he could do it. He could actually do it. But I think Belichick looks at that and says, I'm up for that challenge. Then
Can
they're
I
at the Eagles.
Can I do talking head guy for a second?
On this next game?
No, right now about the Ravens.
Yeah.
What Bill Belichick, where's my camera? This one? What Bill Belichick likes to do is he takes what you like to do with your right hand and he takes it out. He makes you play left-handed. Thank you.
I love when a new guy would show up to try out and he'd be like, hey, Belichick,
Makes you play left-handed?
that guy's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. And you can see the guy being like,
Got it.
so you could hit him in the mouth.
Bang!
You're like, every guy who's come here has said that.
My guess would be that they would have
Ravens at Eagles, Cowboys home at Texans, Chiefs. Mahomes back. That's a tough, like, they're not going 16-0.
defense is really good. I still think defensively they can pull out a game they shouldn't have won. You could argue the Bills game was a little bit like that.
Right, but the quarterbacks they played against.
It's brutal.
Ben, who's depressed week 1.
Ben had Tommy John surgery. He just hadn't had it yet.
Right. Josh Allen, Darnold, twice. That last one was horrible. Josh Allen, I already said, was that case? That was Colt McCoy to start that game. That was dicey. Right. Daniel Jones and Baker, who looked clueless today. I'm going to go ahead and say Pats will have the first loss. And
what's the Niners schedule? Do you have that? Can you ask your guys to crunch those numbers?
Let me get IT on the phone here.
I agree with you. I think
at Arizona, home Seattle, Arizona again.
Oh, the Niners lose that home Seattle game.
So,
yeah. I think the Pats might outlast them. I'm going Pats.
That shocks me.
Yeah, I'm going Pats. I like the defense. The defense is really good. Also, the 90-second long.
I think the Niners defense is better than the Pats defense.
I like the secondary. I think secondaries win titles. I liked when they honed in on Steve Belichick for a minute and a half today.
What was that about?
I don't know. We were so confused by it.
I feel like Nance was like...
Steve was like, guys, I didn't know I was going to be on TV.
Right.
I would have maybe shaved, done my hair.
I could see Nance because we didn't have the
closed
captioning.
The 4 TVs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I could just see him be like, ever heard of the Shulas? ...
Right.
Yeah.
Ever heard of the Shoeless? What do you got for Josh Jacobs or Kyler Murray for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
It's Josh Jacobs.
You think so? You don't think Kyler pours on some garbage time, wins a couple fantasy leagues in weeks 14, 15, 16?
Maybe, but he...
I'm voting Josh Jacobs as well.
You know, they beat Cincinnati, they beat Atlanta, they beat the Giants, and then...
Those were Arizona's 3 wins?
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah, right. So after
Those
they went...
3 teams are terrible.
After they were 0-3-1, they were 3-3-1, and then they get destroyed at New Orleans. Dave Brees coming back. I do watch Kyler probably more because I still don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And I think there's still too many third downs where I'm like, eh.
Favorite 4-3 team, Philly, Dallas, or Houston? Or Carolina. I'll throw them in too. Philly, Dallas, Houston, Carolina.
I'm going to go Houston because I like the quarterback better.
Yeah, God, you're really in on Deshaun.
Yeah, and they just lost to the Colts, so I know this sounds stupid.
I'm trying to...
What's your answer?
I don't know what to make of Philly. I think Philly has maybe the highest ceiling. I don't really like any of those 3 teams, though, and I think
that Eagles secondary is a major issue. Like, major.
But the thing is that it didn't come back to haunt them against Buffalo. I wish I had realized that before the game because I picked Buffalo. Because the way to beat Philly is to throw in them, and Buffalo can't throw the ball.
No.
So to me, it's a matchup team. The thing is, I think I would rather feel good about an AFC team just because it's such an inferior conference. The AFC is loaded.
And loaded. Yeah, when you start going through like the guys that are out,
Unbelievable.
if you do the,
Did you see what the NFC South record is? It's.
right
I'm
off
sorry.
the top
I'm
of my
sorry. The
head,
NFC West is 21-9-1. Outside their division, it's 18-6-1. The NFC West. It's ridiculous.
Listen to the teams that are outside of the playoffs right now in the NFC. The Rams, who that Cincinnati game was weird in the fact that Cincinnati's awful this year. They can't run the football. They can't block anybody. Like that offensive line is maybe the worst group based on those numbers. And they actually competed a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
So that was a great sign. Rams are out. Panthers are out as of now. Detroit, who Stafford is having an insane season. His red zone numbers are incredible. Nobody ever wants to admit that. I think we all see him as a second-tier guy, and that's okay. Philly's out. The Bears, not like I'm into them. Those are the teams that are outside of the NFC in the playoffs.
That leads me to my next question. Who gets benched first? Trubisky or Trubisky?
We thought of how to put together this question for a long time.
That was where I settled. I was like, give me a second guy.
There was no second guy that we could put in there.
I was like, give me a second guy that could get benched. And I just decided to count Trubisky twice. That's where I landed.
I'm going to do this question with Chris Long on tomorrow's pod.
Do it. Do Trubisky or Trubisky.
But we're going to broaden out. If all 32 franchises right now, what's the worst? You're like, this is the worst situation to be rooting for every week right now in 2019. Because there's a lot of factors.
It's not the Bears, because the Bears have talent.
Yeah,
they're just more saddled with the Trubisky thing. Trubisky's like the bad girlfriend or boyfriend where they just need to break up, and it's not going to happen.
Not right now. They're going to give it one more summer, but they're going to do a long distance summer thing, which is
they might have a kid to save the relationship.
It's going to be like, oh, the kid. How do you feel about two Christmases, Jimmy?
Trubisky, the extension would be the kid. Maybe the extension will give him confidence.
That would be great if they bring in a new coordinator and be like, and now that he knows he's the guy.
Yeah.
Nothing like $60 million to convince you to think you're better.
Now he's going to be confident.
Yeah.
Last one, Nats or Astros?
I picked the Nats before the series started.
I'm going to say that was one of the worst baseball weekends anyone's had in a while. The Nats go up 2-0, 3 home games.
On the road, yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. First time ever in the World Series. Everyone's scrapping for tickets, including our friend Joe House, who still owes you $200. And
well, hopefully you put it towards tickets.
Yeah. And within, 50 hours, they're down 3-2.
Yeah, it's over.
Scherzer's hurt. Like,
couldn't pitch, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Garrett Cole, 4 hit him tonight.
Unbelievable. And the Astros are they're smiling in the dugout. You just could tell they were going to win in 2 innings.
It's weird how more aggressive their swings are after a couple games under their belts, but it's
we watched that. We watched Dallas, Portland was really fun. We watched Memphis against.
Okay. Yeah, we're burying the headline.
I mean, which one? Memphis, John Morant.
Well, because now this has turned into because we had this moment together where we both
love Ja
all in on Ja Morant, like in a borderline restraining order type of way.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a contest to see who likes him the most.
Well, you'll never like him more than you like Rodgers.
That really freaked you out tonight, huh?
No, because I've been around Robert Mays this whole decade, and Rodgers and Mays, it's like Mays puts a red ball in his mouth when he watches Packers games. He can't handle it.
Well, I'm glad that wasn't an option.
I probably shouldn't have mentioned that, but it's true.
I was recently telling this story. I'll make it quick though.
Yeah.
Right. ESPN, 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd have this little room set up where I could watch like 8 games on 8 different monitor feeds because I'd be doing some late Sunday show, drove in from Boston, whatever. Mike Ditka walks in. Ditka's like, hey, can I just sit here? He'd want to get away from everybody, so he'd come and hide with me. And he was nice to me. And he was like, hey. And then I realized, like, okay, how do these guys see the game differently than you or I do? Like, how does Mike Ditka see a game? You know, because sometimes you're like, do they really see it differently? Or we just pretend? Or do they really see it differently? And for the most part, they do see it differently than us.
Yeah.
Especially like an old school guy like that. Favre, flushed out to his right, 3rd and goal. He's waiting for a tight end, dragging through the back of the end zone. He's not free. He's not free. This guy barreling right down at him. Favre waits, knows, okay, now he's free, gets murdered by a defensive player. And Ditka almost chokes all over himself because he was like kind of falling asleep a little bit too. and he's like, oh, he's like, Brett Favre, he's got the of a mountain lion. He's like, I love that guy. He goes, rewind it. And then he's like, this is what I saw, and this is what Favre saw. And Favre knew at this moment, like, I'm going to get killed, but I got to let him get another step for this throw to work. And he goes, he does that, and like most of the other guys would be too scared to even do something like that. So when I watched Aaron Rodgers with Trent Dilfer once, from that point on, we were in Texas, we're stuck in some hotel lobby.
He's
and we
just pointing
sat,
him out.
and Dilfer's like, this, and from that I'm just like, he's right. It's just different.
You should have saved that story for the app we're working on.
Oh, I can't wait to launch that. Probably do a
How
launch.
far away are we?
As long as the coding's right.
A few months, right?
A few months seems fast. I just
months?
want to pick a.
How long does it take? Like a year?
This kind of app?
Yeah.
It's never been done before.
It's true. I forgot. Anything else before we go? I don't want to spoil the app.
Give me your excitement level when it's only the Nets on versus it's only the Lakers on.
Well, I realized tonight, I know this part isn't football, sorry, State Farm, but I thought the Nets thing, I thought when Kyrie left, I'd be like, oh, I hope he doesn't do well, but, I'm still a little butt chap from last season. But I thought once the season starts, like, whatever, knock yourself out. I've watched every Nets game, and I'm rooting against them like I have thousands of dollars on the other team in each game, and really, really thoroughly enjoy when they lose. It's like, I can't believe I turned 50 this year. I'm more spiteful than I've ever been in my entire life.
Kyrie got something special out of you right now.
Just watching him not care during the Bucks series at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Didn't care.
I just haven't recovered from it yet. After all the talk about playoffs come around, you watch out.
No one can
my
beat us in
time.
7 games. How about 5?
Yeah. And then he's like just switching himself onto Giannis so he can get burned by somebody who's a foot taller. Anyway, I'm rooting against the Nets and enjoying myself.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. Well, we got to bring in Kyle.
Oh, we almost didn't a second time.
I almost forgot.
I almost made it out. Almost made it out alive. What's up,
No,
fellas?
the fans called for Kyle.
Yeah, we got you.
He's wearing a Hightower jersey.
We got you a State Farm beanie.
Playing the
It's
game.
not going to fit your head. We just wanted to ask you. I bought you a Josh Gordon flash jersey before the season. What happens to that jersey? Do we put it on eBay?
No, I'm keeping it forever.
You're going to keep it?
He's a comeback kid. He'll be back. He'll be back, and we'll let him back. You heard it here first.
You think he comes back?
To the Patriots?
It's a long season.
What happened in your honest estimation?
I think he bought in. He was all in, and it's I got bad ankles too, and I just hope that the Patriots would treat me with the same respect they treated Josh Gordon.
They waived him in the middle of the week. They put him on the IR.
But if there was something else,
dicked him over so he couldn't sign with a contender.
if
They're waiving him next
if
week.
there was something else that's going on, they're not going to bring it up, and that's all I'd ask for me.
How much barbecue did you eat today?
I ate enough.
I could see you getting along with Josh Gordon.
Not quite tattoo worthy though.
No.
Thank you. Well,
No.
he's still
Only special tattoos.
All right, you're really not going to put on the beanie?
No, I won't do it.
Do you not wear beanies?
Not a beanie guy. I just got a haircut.
I was going to put it on, but my head is gigantic.
I thought you only
There's no way it was
travel by bird scooter.
Yeah, bird scooter. Hey, thanks to State Farm. When you need a game plan for protection, State Farm agents are here to help with personalized service. Agents are available to talk in person, over text, or through the State Farm app. So go with the one with coverage and agents you can count on. Find an agent in your neighborhood today. Don't forget about his podcast, which he produces,
Tomorrow morning.
the Ryen Russillo podcast with Chris Long.
Chris Long every Monday.
I am about to tape my podcast with Cousin Sal, which he produces.
Yeah.
You're not sleeping a lot tonight.
No, haven't been sleeping.
I'm gonna give him more barbecue. It'll be fine. And that's it. Don't forget, there's a highlight video coming out tomorrow. I shudder to think what's going to be in it. But thanks for watching.